So welcome back. Last video in this series, we discussed a little bit about the volume profile. Gave you guys a little introduction, some of the settings. In this video, we're gonna go a little bit more in detail and how I personally want or like to use the volume profile. We're also going to give you guys a little bit of history about it, definitions, so you guys get a little understanding of what we're using here. So first video we're telling you guys is similar to the gas in the car volume. We're speaking particularly in the historical volume. Same principles kind of relay to the visible range. At this point, you should already have your volume profile set up. You guys were introduced to the low volume nodes, the high volume nodes, and also the point of control and the volume area. So today, let's give you guys a little bit more of my principles of thought process when it comes to volume. So, primarily speaking about historical volume, it's going to be like the gas in the car. Again, we used that analogy earlier. Let's expand a little bit on that. So, we're going to stay with the car analogy. No gas in your car. Yes, you guys, can accelerate. We can pull up to the club on E. All drinks on me. For my hip hop fans, you'll get that reference. But in theory, a car can continue. Let's say you're going 60 miles on the highway, you run out of gas. Inertia is going to keep the car actually moving forward or driving. Eventually, though, you're going to notice that speed is going to decrease. That car is going to start stalling. So that's some of the things that some of the principles that we like to look at in volume. If we have increasing volume, that's going to confirm the move. And we did cover this in the historical volume video. It's probably going to be one of the first videos I post on this series on the site. Yet, same thing's gonna go for the volume profile. So if we have increasing volume, it's gonna show a good trend, good solid trend, good confirmations. We want to play in the direction of the trend. Now, as we start getting volume decreasing, it's going to be our first warning sign that volume or that the car is slowing down. Doesn't mean it's going to come to an abrupt stop. It can, continue to roll a bit before we see a reversal or return back to the mean. But that is a good indication to, we may be more at a yellow light than a green one, or possibly a red light as well. So in the volume introduction, I think I'm going to do a part two because I'm going to speak a little bit about what we call stopping volume or stopping power. That's going to either be pulling up at a red light or running into a speeding train or a bus. So I do want to cover that, but just sticking in the realm of, increasing and decreasing volume. We have this, highlighted area. It's going to be transactions being took or, trade actually happening. So generally we see, that area play as a range, and, we can get some solid moves there. When we come up here to this, shaded kind of area, it's going to be more like the cars running out of gas. The higher we get up in that area, the more likelihood we're going to see a reversal. Now, if you guys have noticed, we have these spikes or these, kind of humps in these curves. Now, these are going to be good areas. What I like to do is come in here and I could possibly still use my top-down approach. A lot of times I like to come in here and I like to mark out some of these extended areas. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually change the color on these. Let's go with purple. So I'm going to do my regular top-down analysis, but I do want to mark out and highlight some of these, extended areas. Paying attention especially to that volume area low and the volume area high, because those are, you see how it reacts. We got up here, we did poke a little bit out. That is a daily candle, so that's why we like to, keep our stops a little wider to equate for, those little spikes or what I call randomness in charts. So it comes up here, or we can even equate it to supply and demand zones. So we want to equate for that. Don't want to put it right above that area, but we can see how it came up here and it rejected. No volume up here, no gas, we get a fall. Now we're playing inside that range. We actually came up here close to where the volume profile is going to be ever since November of 2021. So we came up here to kind of test the volume profile area, and we dropped. So another thing I did want to highlight is what you guys will notice is that. Let's see if we can get another area here. Let's let this volume profile load. So when we have areas to where there's no there comes from an indentation to, let's say there's a smaller hump, or let's look at it as peaks and valleys. When we come from a peak to a valley, generally that's going to show no transactions in that area. So what we can do is generally we're going to see price sharply slash through that zone or that area. So when you get into these areas where there's no indentation, generally we're gonna have that's a sign that there's no real volume in that area, no buying or selling volume, and price generally rips right through it. So we can see it here. So we find another one for you guys on a 15-minute chart. Again, I do have this. Oh, here's one here, kind of sliced through here. So I do have this volume profile set for 200 roll. I come in here with lower amounts on the rolls. You guys I can see the peaks and valleys a little better. So it's just a side note you guys can take. If you're having a difficulty kind of seeing that, you could actually, or seeing the curvature or the shapes, you can actually adjust the roll size. For me, the way I train my eyes, again, I prefer that 200. So volume price goes again from high volume nodes to low volume nodes, giving us an indication to which direction price may want to go. And we can also see, trend strength. We can use this in combination with historic volume. So we notice here that we came from a high volume node. We barely poked out, we got a rejection. We came back and retested that actual supply zone, and we rejected nicely today off of CPI, right at one of those peaks. So we came off of that. We knew got a nice short. We took that trade today. You guys see in our member center or in our signals chat, our private signals chat. We call this out. We've been holding this ever since. Nice ride down. Now we see price likes to come back, and it does like to clear, or it wants to check the buying or selling pressure at particular areas. So the old break and retest method. So we'll come back up here. We're probably gonna get a retest up here to about this 12,950-ish if we get that high. And then we're looking for this possibly for a change of character, or for this to start developing some more lower lows, lower highs. Look for this to come down all the way to the volume, the low volume nodes. So that's a little bit of practical ways that I do trade, just on a base level so far of what I'm looking for in the volume profile. Let's get you guys a little bit more. Let's look at a couple of things on volume. Now, I did find this nice article written. We'll tap into today. So what is volume profile? Volume profile is advanced charting indicator that displays total volume traded at every price level over a specific time period. So, historical volume is going to show you the volume of historical price data. This is going to give you price, the price at that current moment in time. So based on, you see, I was highlighting from it was November 2021 all the way up to current date. It's going to show me where the most volume was transacted, where traders didn't have as much interest in price. So when you have a high volume node, a low volume node, you have see how there's really no extension in the volume. No one's really interested in price at this area. So that's one key thing that kind of made it click, and I had my aha moment when I started looking at volume as interest. Okay, I see down here that there's not much interest in these levels. So we look at it as, price went up. There's more aggressive